Namaskar everyone. Myself Dr. Priyanka Verma, working as a senior assistant professor, Department of Computer Science and IT, IAS, deemed to be university. Now, in this corona phase, all of us we are basically doing online teaching learning only. So, as teachers, the major problem that we face is how to prepare quiz for the students, right? So, in today's video, we would be discussing about how we can transfer the data from a Google Sheet to a Google form, because yes, we are wanting to create quiz. If we have certain already existing quiz in a Google Sheet and we want to transfer it to a Google form, so how we can do it. So I would be sharing my screen so that I can share or I can tell you how to go about it. Okay, so I hope all of you are able to see the screen. So this is the main Google Sheet that has been created. I have named it as attributes and links. If in case, let's say for example, you don't have already existing Google Sheets, so what you can do is you can transfer the data from a sheet, as in you can mail that sheet to you and you can open it with Google Sheet. So automatically that particular sheet would be saved as a Google Sheet inside your drive. But yes, we need to have a Google Sheet. We cannot be working with a normal Excel sheet, right? So this is the Google Sheet that I have already kept open. Now, this is the serial number column. So we will quickly add the serial numbers so that we know the total number of questions which are there in our sheet. That is, we have 20 questions in our sheet. These are my questions and these are my options, right? So if you see, four options are there, that is option A, option B, option C, and option D. So these are the four options which are there as in A, B, C, D. Now, the two columns that you need to add inside your Google Sheet to ensure that it would be converted to a Google form is the type of the question. If you are aware with the form interface, there are various type of questions which can be created. Let's keep a Google form also open so that we can actually link the two. So we will open up the Google form. I will select blank quiz. Okay. Now, if you see, these are the kind of questions that can be created. It can be a multiple choice question, it can be a checkbox, a drop down, or it can be a file upload kind of question, right? So, the type of question that I have specified is multiple choice question. You can create other types of questions also. The true and false also have created as a multiple choice question only because it will create two options. One is going to be true and another is going to be false. So I will add another option also over here, that is false, and this is another false, right? I had highlighted the correct answers. So firstly, I would remove this highlighting. Highlighting has been removed. If in case any of your options are missing, so you can add those options. I'll make certain changes also to it. So you have to ensure that all the options of yours are there. So it should not be the case that any of your options are missing, else it will not get completely uploaded in the form of a form. So this is a true and false kind of question. So this is true. Another option is going to be false. Similarly over here also, this already has all the four options. Again over here. So I guess now my Excel sheet is ready to be exported to a form, right? So now what will I do is, the first column that your Google Sheet needs to have is the serial number column just to identify the total number of questions. Then the question name. right? So instead of specifying question 1 over here, I will change it to question. Then the kind of question, which I have already told you that it can either be a multiple choice question or the other kinds of questions. Now, this is again an important field. If you have seen the form, when we are creating a question, we need to specify over here that whether the question is going to be required or not required. So if you want that your question is going to be a compulsory question, so you have to select required from here. So that is what I have specified in this particular column. I have specified the required value to be true for all. If in case there are a few questions which are optional and you don't want those questions to be attempted, so then you can specify the required value to be false. But currently, since I am wanting that my students should attempt all the questions, so that is only why I have specified the required value to be true. Now, these are all the four options which are there. Now, for moving the data from a Google Sheet to a Google Form, what exactly we are doing is that we are creating a quiz for the students, and this quiz is going to be taken through the Google Form. Since I already had all the questions inside my Google Sheet, so I wanted the questions to be exported directly to the Google Form. So for that exporting to take place, I had to understand the method. So I Googled it, and that is what I'm sharing with all of you. We need a add-on for this. That is for transferring the data from the Google Sheets to the Google Forms. We need an add-on. So I'll show also how to load that particular add-on. The add-on that we need is form builder, right? So whenever we have to transfer the data from the Google Sheets to Google Forms, automatically all the questions, they would be transferred to a Google Form. So we don't have to create the quiz again. Since all the questions were there in the Google Sheet, automatically the questions will get exported to the Google Form. So for that, we need this particular add-on, that is form builder. Now for downloading this add-on, where do we need to go? In this particular window, you need to select add-ons. Over here, you are going to specify that particular add-on that you need, right? Just specify the name of that particular add-on. And the moment you would specify that particular add-on, automatically the options will get displayed. Select that particular add-on, click on install button, and that particular add-on is going to be added to your add-on list. Just like my add-on has already been added. If you see over here, the form builder add-on is already there. So I'll again repeat, if in case you want to download this particular add-on, so from this particular option, you need to select add-on. In the search bar, just enter the name of the add-on, which is going to be form builder. When you will be selecting form builder, you have to select the normal form builder, because that will allow us to transfer the data from PowerPoint presentation also, from Word also, from Excel sheet also. I'll even show it to you how it is possible. So I'll select this form builder from here. I'll click on start. See, as a teacher, I was facing this problem, so I'm sure all of you must also be facing the problem of directly exporting the questions from Excel to form. So that is only why I thought of sharing it with all of you, right? So we can import the data from Google Sheets, or we can import the data from Google Forms, or from Google Docs, or from Google Slides, right? So since we would be making use of Google Sheets, so I'll select Google Sheets from here. The file from where I wanted the data to be exported inside this form is attributes and links. So I'll select this particular sheet. I'll click on select. If you see, the sheet has been highlighted over here. Now it is asking me for the tab. So the tab that I need to select is sheet 2, because my data was existing inside sheet 2. This is the sheet inside which my data is there. So I'll select this particular sheet, right? Now, There are three options. You can either select only questions, or you can select questions as well as answer, or if in case you want to select quiz. So we would select question and answers because our sheet is containing everything. It has the questions also, it has the answer also. Now over here you need to enter the range of the data. So my data range is A1 to H21, right? So I will enter the range over here. If I'll not enter the range, all the questions will not get selected, right? So this range has already been entered. Okay. The range includes header. Yes. Now, see, there is an option which is getting displayed that three automatic mapping fields have been found. So we will click on yes. So if you see question, it has automatically identified, which is at column number B. Yes, the question is at column number B. Then it has identified the required, which is at column number D. So if you see this field is on column number D. Then it has identified the type, which is again there in column C. So these three fields which has already identified. I have not given the description. If in case you know that certain columns they have to be given a description, so you can specify the description column also, right? Now, the answers are starting from which column and the answers are ending at which column. That is what you need to select over here. So, my answers are starting at column E and they are stopping at column H, right? So, I would be selecting this over here. I would specify E over here and I would specify H over here, right? Now I will simply click on get option. Okay. Now if you can see over here, all the 20 questions they have been loaded. This is like now my work is really simple. I had an Excel sheet and from the Excel sheet I have now imported all the questions inside my form, right? So now my form has all the questions. So all the 20 questions are now there inside my form. The type can be changed from here. The automatic type that has been taken is the multiple choice question. But if after importing you found out that might be the type should be changed, so you can always change the type from here, right? So this I'm not doing because I'm very sure that all my questions are going to be multiple choice question only, right? Now I will click on import selected. It will take some time because all the questions are getting imported. Yes, so now finally all the questions have been imported. Now if you see the form, all the questions are there. Now if you see the last question, it is having some errors. So you can always click on this particular question and then you can make the changes whatever you want over here. So now if you see the question is perfectly visible, right? If in case you feel like that there are certain other changes also that you want to make to the question, so you can always select that particular question and you can make the changes, right? Like over here, if you see W has to be capital, so I will change it, right? Yes. So now all my questions have been imported. This question I can remove because this was an already existing question. So I will remove it. Then the name of my quiz was attributes and links, or I can name it as HTML quiz 2, right? Because first quiz I had already created, so I'm naming it as HTML quiz 2. Yes, here it is. My quiz is now ready. So isn't it really simple? We can easily transfer the data from Google Sheets to Google Forms. Since as a teacher, I was actually facing a lot of problems, so I really thought that I should share it with the rest of you also so that you can also understand this method. Now, the basic benefit of sharing a quiz through form is that whatever, once we will share it with the students, we would be able to store the responses also. So there's a Google Sheet that is going to be created over here, and whatever responses we will receive from the students, we can always see that what are the results, as in which student has given all the responses correctly, and which student has failed on certain responses, right? There's another add-on that I would like to discuss with you. This add-on is basically called as form limiter, because when we are sharing the quiz with students, sometimes it does happen that we want to put a time limit, as in after this particular time the quiz should stop. So I want that the students should be given a time limit of 30 minutes only. So for that we can make use of this form limiter add-on. So that I will discuss in my next video. So that is all for today's video. See you all in the next sessions. Thank you so much.